Hello, I'm Ed Alexander, founder and attorney with Alexander Abramson, a business law firm here in Florida. And today is our Friday Mailbag segment. I want to begin this segment with a little bit of information. As I'm recording this today, the second round of PPP loan funding was approved by the Senate yesterday, and today, Thursday the 23rd, it's expected to be approved by the House of Representatives and then signed by the President. This provides $310 billion more to the PPP program, and we expect it to go fast. There are plenty of pending applications for businesses that didn't get funded in the last round, and so those will be queued up. If you haven't gotten your application in, get it in immediately. You really shouldn't delay at all. You want to be on this line. Now it's interesting, this one, they made some attempt to correct some of the problems. They allocated $60 billion of the $310 billion to smaller and community banks with the idea that they would be more likely to get the money in the hands of smaller businesses. Interesting to note that some lawsuits have already been filed on the PPP loan funding program against some of the larger banks, claiming that the larger banks shuffled applications in favor of larger businesses. And what you may or may not know is that the banks get paid 5 points when they make the loan for the processing and all of the work that goes into it, as well as the servicing of the loan. And the loan carries a very low interest rate. It's only 1%. So the banks aren't really making any money off of the interest rate. And so, I guess there could have been a temptation there to look at the larger loans and get those done. Less work. Certainly, the amount of work that goes into the smaller loans and the larger loans would be probably very close to the same. But also, when you look at it, there's a much higher payoff for those. So we'll see how that comes out. That'll be interesting to follow that through the courts. So now on to the mailbag. So Mike, who is in technology manufacturing field, asks a question about the PPP loan. He wants to know, he's got some foreign investors in his company, and he wants to know if his company is still eligible for the PPP loan. And the answer to that is absolutely yes. Of course, the key here is that the PPP loan proceeds, in order to be forgiven, and frankly, period, need to be applied to salaries and then those permitted expenses. So they're identified in the program, and they're typically going to be, rent or interest on a mortgage, but not principal. Of course, salaries, but you cannot use them for employer taxes and things of that nature. Yes, you can get it even if you have a foreign investor in your company, but the proceeds must be used to pay the U.S. worker. So that's the criteria there. And then Jamie, who owns a landscaping business, asked asked about the governor recently signing, and the governor, I'm talking about the governor of Florida, recently signed an executive order basically saying that Paycheck Protection loan notes are exempt from the Florida documentary stamp tax. So first thing to answer there is, what is the Florida documentary stamp tax? Well, it's amount of 35 cents per $100 of value that has to be paid whenever a note is signed in the state of Florida. There are other circumstances too, but it's primarily for a note. And it's a means by which Florida is collecting taxes, since, as you know, we don't have an income tax here. And so the executive order is basically allowing what normally would have to be paid in documentary stamp taxes now to really go for the benefit of the recipient of loan. So the banks would normally have the recipient pay that, and that would be paid from the proceeds. So effectively, it would reduce the amount of the proceeds by 35 cents per $100 of the loan amount, and that's rounded up. So this way, more of the proceeds then are going to the recipient of the PPP loan. Well, that's it for today's Friday mailbag. If you have any questions at all, please be sure to let us know those. You can give us a call. We definitely want to be a resource for you and for clients and referral sources because this is how we get through this, is helping others out. And just give us a call. We'd be glad to set you up for a 15-minute discussion, just kind of point you in the right direction, make sure everything's going well for you. And we're here for you, so definitely give us a call. Thank you for watching.